All right guys, we're heading out of Patterson River where we typically do our water testing. It's the first time I've been in the new extended cab. Looking at the windscreen, it sort of feels like a Southerner. Nothing else does, to be honest with you, but visibility wise is still very, very good. We're gonna go through the performance of the boat because I actually don't personally know what changes they've made to the hull, so hopefully we'll be able to feel if there is any difference and what that might be. But cosmetically and layout, we're going to focus on that sort of stuff while we're out in the water because it is a different boat inside. If you've owned a Yellowfin Southerner in the past, or you've sort of watched them and thought that looks like a bit of me, this is different. So hopefully you're going to love it, but let's try and be as straight up and honest as we can and have a good look around the boat and see if it's something that might suit you moving forward. So starting off, this is a massive difference as far as the driving position. Is this dash layout is super cool. The footrest is actually really good. Something that I didn't really realize we didn't have that well until you jump in this boat and your feet just sort of end up there. The glove box, will start from the left. So huge passenger storage compartment, drink holders, heaps of storage, really cool glove box that stays up so you don't have to worry about that falling back down, that hinge there. It sort of stays up, which is pretty cool. Twin phone chargers, so you can see that they're running just there. There's one either side. And then we've got twin 16-inch Garmins, which is unheard of for us. In the past, we've always had to run a 16 directly in front of us on the dash, and then another 12 above the cabin. But now we're flush mount above the cabin, and gee whiz, it looks the part. It looks fantastic. That's one thing that I suppose with the first time you get in the boat, your eyes go to two areas. They go to the dash here and how cool that looks, and they go to these seat boxes here. If you're familiar with the Yellowfins in the past, we'd have a small little opening area for a fridge or an esky or whatever, but now we actually have a full-blown fridge, so we can open this up. It's a Dometic fridge. There we go. Wasn't sure how to do it then for a second. But there's the fridge, right? So we've got room in here to have our normal goodies, like our home creatures. Very easy to use. It locks in. That's why it took me a second to work out how to open it and close it. So it's actually a really cool fridge design for our outdoor environment. On the passenger side there, we've still got the esky. So that's a 70-litre split lid, or 75 it says. That opens up, and then we can pop that open and have that fridge to slide in and out. So that's more for our catch of the day, I suppose. So you put your fish in there, fill it up full of ice, and that's what happens there. Both of these seat boxes have cushions. So you can sit at the back there when you're traveling. If there's 4 people in the boat, you can all sort of sit in the same area rather than standing up. And when you start fishing, it's a good little spot to sit. One thing I have noticed is, I'm just gonna turn the boat a little bit, these massive side decks, but talking about sitting. So they have these new cool rod holders. I've never used them, but you push the button here and they can spin so you can move your rod around. There's 3 of those in the side deck there. The side deck's massive. It's much bigger than what the Southerner was, and it has a padded side combing as well. So it's a sort of spot that you can sit here and it's a full, like, proper seat. I didn't realize we needed this until I saw it. If you told me on the Southerner, do we have an issue with the side decks, I would have said, no, they're perfect, but this is really cool. So great initiative by Yellowfin on that. I think they've done a good job there. So we'll start at the back, work our way forward. The Yamaha 300 horsepower. This is the new integrated steering and in the electric steering kit. So with the electric steering, that means that we are what we call Helm Master Level 1. So our steering's done electrically. That gives us the option moving forward to run the electric autopilot and the electric joystick, which we haven't done to this boat just yet. C-deck at the back here, so it's sort of non-slip and looks a lot cooler. Actually looks a little bit bigger than maybe what we're used to. Transom door is still over here. Transom door's always been great, so that's where that works, just here. No problem. Easily open that up. And the ladder goes down and we're in and out of the boat. Battery switch is in the same location. I like what they've done here though. So I'm going to open up this bait station. So instead of having drawers for tackle both sides, one side is our tackle And the other side's a big storage compartment. How cool is that? So you can still have, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4 tackle boxes there. But that storage compartment is something that we did need. I have noticed before, because up here, it's a flush area, things can roll off it quite easy. Having something that's undercover in there is really cool. And you've still got this area here for recessed things, drink holders either side, rod holders that actually welded onto the back. That's all cool stuff. I think this will be our usual suspects. I haven't actually looked in here yet. Yep, twin batteries, all our circuit breakers and everything that we do here. Access to our water for our inlet off our live bait tank, our water separator for our engine, primer ball. It's all easy to get to. Live bait tanks over here, so it's got the glass lid still so we can see through it. And then up here, no dramas, looks very similar. It's got an LED light in there, that's all good. Getting back to these seat boxes, another huge advancement, which I've never used before. So today's the first day, is suspension seating. How cool is that? So I have no idea how it works as far as adjustments, but you can adjust the spring, like the actual rebound off it, and its dampener and stuff. So you can preset the seating to suit your requirements and maybe how heavy you are, etc. It's still on a slide and a swivel as well, so the seat still spins. They're cool. Speaking of cool, the new seats, the old seats were looking a bit old. There's no doubt about that. Yellowfin have rectified that. These seats look awesome. So going to the front here, this one's with the bolster up, so there's this huge amount of room here for when we're standing. Bolster goes down. Beautiful seat. Arms go up both sides. No dramas. Looking back here, side mount control box, Lone Star anchor winch, key ignition, a brand new Yellowfin switch panel, very clear and easy to see. But the dash is a winner. Tell you what, the dash is really well done. Couldn't be happier with that. So I think if you were a Southerner owner, there's enough here I've seen so far to go, okay, this boat is different. Now, where another huge difference is here. This is taller inside the cabin and it's wider. So where we gain, we lose. We know that we've lost a little bit of room to walk around the side of the boat. There's no doubt about that, not hiding that. And there's a handrail to get across the front. If you do want to access the bow of the boat, you can still do it. But they've just opened up this cabin. It's massive. But the other thing it is, which I didn't think was much of an issue, but they've fixed whatever it was, is more headroom. So the headroom, what happens is the liner goes up probably another 2 or 3 inches. I reckon you could be 6'4", 6'5", quite comfortably in here. And there's a big handrail along here as well. So going through the light system, that might need a switch panel maybe, but there's a big aluminium tube there to hang on to while we're traveling. And then we've got the big boy compass. If we get lost, tell you what, that'll get us home. Captain Cook could add that. And then the twin wipers that look really cool, going from the top of the windscreen down rather than the bottom of the windscreen up. I think they'll be more effective. They'll be less tolerant to sliding off their tracks. They look a lot cooler. And I think that's going to be a little advancement that they've done that's going to pay dividends moving forward, I'm sure. Fusion stereo, Garmin VHF, zip weight trim tabs, that Garmin little 5-inch screen, all happy days. I think they've laid this out really well. They've looked at what their customers want, and I think they've ticked a lot of boxes. I haven't seen anything yet that I'm thinking, oh, I like the old girl more. The cabin will be a little bit tighter to get into, maybe, because of the 16-inch screen above the cabin entry. So let's get in there and have a look. There's a good handrail here. My hand went straight there without me even realizing. In I go. Oh, that was fine. There's a toilet just here. There is a really cool door. Oh, look at that. For our switch panel. And there's there is more headroom. There's no doubt about that. Oh, what do we got here? Didn't know about this one. Oh, cool, little storage nook. That's pretty cool. So, you know, finding things as we go along. Look at those seats. The seats are cool. I didn't realize that back at the shop. The seats are a big advancement, and those suspensions, let's go give those a crack now. You can see at the front here, I would suggest that's something to do with like the recoil off the spring or something. You'll be able to turn this and adjust it. Yeah, you can. So I don't know yet, but let's give it all a crack. Still a self-draining floor. You can see quite easily those big holes at the back there, one there and one there to drain the water out of the boat. So it's a full self-draining floor. Deck wash hose over here. That's actually a good spot for it because the old one used to be more closer to the cabin area and you had to sort of spray backwards, if that makes sense. But the new one is just here. So you're right in the action. It's a long hose so you can get wherever you want. And I think that was a good move. I like that better there. It'd be cool to have like a little hook here. So when you're not using it, but you are using it frequently, you don't have to go down to the side pocket to grab it. So something to think about. All right, let's give this thing a kick. So we know what the old ones did. They were bloody good boats, still are. Weather's just typical, overcast, Melbourne, very small chop, not much to speak of. I wasn't looking for massive water, I didn't really have the option. Today was the only day I could really run this boat. So I really wanted to do the walkthrough and the differences between the Southerner and the new extended cab. However, it's actually good water. And why I say that is because what a lot of people don't realise or take into consideration when they're testing a boat is in rough water, the boat's influenced by waves. So it's sometimes quite hard to see how the boat's performing because the boat's getting pushed around. We do know if the boat rides relatively soft in rough weather, we know if it bangs, we know if it thuds, we know if it's wet, or if it's dry or whatever it is, but it also has a lot to do with the driver's ability as well and how he sets up the boat and gets the boat performing. So first thing I'm doing right now, which I'll slow down and explain a little bit, we'll go through some rev ranges, is I'm seeing how I'll get back to that. With the flatter water, the boat has nowhere to hide. So if the boat really lifts its bow when it takes off, it can't hide that. If the boat porpoises when it reacts to trim, can't hide that either. If the boat cavitates and broaches around when it turns hard, it can't blame the waves for that. So if you want to see a hull's true, if you want to see it's propped correctly, if you want to see if it turns hard, all those sort of things, flat water has a big benefit in testing boats as well as rough. They both can do different styles of performance. Now, we're going to take off. I wonder where my revs are. Let's have a look here. Here we go, Yamaha screen. How cool. We got fuel. We should be right. All right, so let's go 1500 RPM. We're doing 12 kilometers an hour, 12.6. The boat's sitting flat. My trim's down nice and low. Boat's happy. Now, typically when a boat planes, it'll lift its bow to plane. These trim tabs should help us counteract that. So you can see right now, those two interceptor plates are quite low, and that means the boat's gonna get up nice and gentle. So as we accelerate, no bow lift. Now that is courtesy of the zip weight trim tabs and a good performing hull. We're doing 2600 RPM. It's at 26 kilometers an hour. Boat's happy. We're all good. So we can do this all day. We're gonna go to 3,500 RPM. A little bit of up trim. The boat's sitting a little bit prouder now. It's on top of the water a little bit, I feel. So we're doing 3,200 RPM, 33, I think it is. There we go. 42 kilometers an hour. Let's have a little look around. All right. Next rev range, we'll go to 4,000. Those 300s are such good power on the back of these things. That's 4,000, 46 kilometers an hour. I haven't really touched my trim. Boat's happy at that. Going really good. We'll do a little turn to the right. That's our little turn. We're turning in pretty hard now. 4,000 RPM, 46 kilometers an hour. Boat's turning in. Let's have a little look around. All right, let's straighten her up. And let's just drop the hammer, I think. Just get her going. So, boom, on the gas, bit of trim. Let it wind out for a sec. 50, 400 RPM, bit more trim. 5,500 RPM, 76 kilometers an hour. She's singing like a bird, look at that. She's going so well. So let's just open this. We're here to test it. Let's turn it in, 77 kilometers an hour. Trim down a little bit. Loving it. Haven't lifted an inch. Driving with one hand. If anyone tells me yellowfins don't perform, come for a water test with us, because I'll tell you what, they don't do much wrong. Let's slow her back down. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions about the new yellowfin range, please contact us here at Streaker Marine. We love our boating. We love our products, and we love looking after our customers and making sure that we get them the right boat for them and their family for many years of enjoyable boating. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next video. Cheers.